Today is Tuesday, March 25, and you can see this is a daily chart of the Nasdaq, which is still trading. It's up 52 points with about, I don't know, 45 minutes left in the session. I have to visit the tax man today. Say a prayer for me as I go visit the tax man. I wanted to get this video out early because I don't know how long this is going to take today. But anyway, a pretty sleepy tape today. You can see the Nasdaq has rallied off the lows. Had a nice, what would be considered, I guess, a follow-through day on Monday, but today kind of stalled here, up less than a quarter percent. Very tepid volume here. If follow through day, it doesn't really mean much unless you have some leading stocks leading the stock market higher. And we don't have that. So, in order to have a sustainable rally, we need stocks to lead, and there just aren't any. There's not one stock out there that you can say is just like ripping higher that I got to own. Like when we had this type of a rally, when we saw, AppLovin and Palantir and MicroStrategy and even IBM, and there's just a ton of stocks that were doing well. And then since this market is flattened out and then cratered, there's no leading stocks are on the way up. What we're seeing is some short covering in some Mag 7 stocks, and then today are retreat back to the commodity and oil and gas stocks and insurance names, which is very defensive. So it's very frustrating for me, a growth stock and trend trader, because there's not a lot of action here, to be quite honest with you. And there's nothing to lure me into this market. But you can see, what can I say? The Nasdaq's up, following through on yesterday's gains. But I'm going to go through here and just take a look at the SPY. The SPY is up barely. Call it flat. It's above the 200 though. I got to go back to the Nasdaq now that I mentioned this. The SPY is above the 200, so that's something. Now it's flat, all right? And that's a rising 200, so the market has to rise for it to rise with it. But the Nasdaq, I'm going to go back to the Nasdaq here because it's below the 200, well below the 200, 1.2% and 4% below the 50. So it has a lot of work to do to get me excited about, this little move off the lows. To me, this is just a short covering rally, nothing to get excited about. But obviously the market conditions are, a little better than they were a week or two ago. All right, and then I wanted to go to the RSP, just showing that, the breadth is not there. It's the Mag 7 that's leading this higher. And it's almost like, Pavlov's dog, these investors are conditioned to go to the safety nets, the apples, this is what they want to buy when things are defensive, that pays a dividend. It's not going to fall through the floor like some other more speculative names. Microsoft, same thing, it's up a quarter percent. It's hard to get excited about this type of stuff. Meta, one of the better looking of these Magnificent Seven stocks, I say that because it's above its 200, but still 4.4% below this 50. It doesn't look all that great. Tesla hit up against the 200 here, and it's going to have a hard time getting through there, I believe, but it'll probably, make a couple efforts. And if it does get through, then, I'm a lot more interested in Tesla. But right now, I think that's going to be resistance about that 285 level here today, 285.23. So we'll see what happens with Tesla. Amazon, believe that one did crack through the 200 yesterday. Yeah, and that's what followed through today. So that one looks a little better. Google, yeah, well below its 200, 3.1%. But you can see this is where, the money's going. It looks like a short cover rally. And for me, this is not anything, it's not a healthy rally, just a oversold conditions and just to kick off the lows. So, eh. Not a strong, healthy market, in my opinion. Oh, I've got to, of course, show you NVIDIA because of the death cross, right? Had a death cross, so it's got to go lower. Anyway, I'm going to move on. I mentioned AppLovin. This is one of the big winners, obviously, here. Then we had that big rally. This thing went from what, 90 to 525, sold off, had a couple of I think it was like three consecutive short reports. They teamed up on this thing to drive it down to 234. Now it's rallied and it's back up to its 50 here. So kind of like Tesla at the 200, AppLovin's at its 50, and it's up 2% today. I don't know. I just can't get excited about that. Palantir looks a little better because it's above its 50. So this is a software name that's looking decent. It's down today, but that one looks a little better. Spotify undercut the 50, rallied back through. That's a shakeout plus three pattern. It looks pretty good to me. Spotify, one of the better ones that I can find, with, a little bit of growth and a little bit of momentum. But man, they're hard to find in this tape. CrowdStrike, another one that I like. It's just right here at its 50. I want to see it get through the 50. I think it will. 385 is the level, and it's got that buy point, that old pivot area at 389, which I still think is legit there. 389 through 389. Let's get it done, CrowdStrike. Anyway, we need some growth to do something. I am a little, interested in the cybersecurity names. I think that could be one area of software that could provide some leadership. Okta's one that I'm watching that looks pretty good. Checkpoint as well. Another one, maybe, please, not a lot of growth here, but, stronger looking stocks, better looking charts. Verisign here, it's got this, breakout from this base, and it's been basing for a long time since the bear market of 2022, essentially. But starting to show some signs of life. Zscaler, up nearly 3% today off the lows, 183 to 215 is a nice move. So I'm liking that area in the market a little bit. Um, Software's been tough though, but the cybersecurity names are pretty decent. I mentioned earlier it was just a move back to the gold, the commodities, the oil and gas. This is a AU, making a nice move today. All it did is pull back to it. I got the 8 EMA, I believe, here today because I was looking at some stock. I was trying to find some stocks that are strong and, pulling back to the 5 or the 8 and finding support. Yeah, that's the 8, 34.37. Close enough yesterday with a little bounce. AEM, another gold stock, pull back to the 8. So this is a little stronger than AU and had a decent move today. I mean, really stretching it here. This is not a good tape, I don't think. WPM, wheat and precious metals, pull back to its 8, found support, little bounce, as we see some rotation back into the commodities, into the oil and gas, and into the miners here. Gold was up today. This morning when I looked, I don't know about now, but Kinross has got that buy point at 12.29, trading there right at this point. So that would be an area of interest for me. HMY, this is Harmony Gold. Yeah, this is where the action is, folks. Anyway, I did mention the oil and gas stocks, EQT. I prefer stocks with the natural gas component. This has got a little buy point here, maybe 54.85. Get through there. I kind of like that one. What other ones do I like? Oh, EXE. I have this one on my ready list this week. Yeah, no, nice double bottom base there. Not a lot of strength. This tape is they say don't short a dull tape, and we certainly have a dull tape, so I wouldn't short it, but finding longs that have strength and momentum is tough. There's another double bottom base in Comstock Resources. Yeah, AR and AM are two that are looking good. AR right there near a buy point. Might put that one on a ready list if I need more oil and gas. And then AM making new highs. So we like stocks making new highs, up 4 cents today. Tough tape, man, tough tape. This is Brown and Brown, still, making this shelf, riding the 8 EMA to higher prices. This one, I think you're just gonna have to show patience with. It's probably just gonna push away slowly but surely. Like, what is it? The tortoise and the hare. The tortoise, slow and steady wins the race, and that's Brown and Brown. Ryan is another insurance name. Insurance stock seeing some love. You can see a cup with handle pattern. Yeah, up 6 cents today. I mean, this is just pathetic. Root, which had a nice day yesterday, giving some back today, 5%, which, that's typical. Anything that goes up a little bit, gets sold off. So you got to sell the spikes. You got to play the game. You got to take what the game gives you, and that's what the market's doing. So that's what you have to do. Otherwise you lose your profits. This is EverQuote, broke out of that cup with handle pattern, making new highs, but, I don't know, up 3% today. We'll take it. Man, that's fantastic in a tape like this. And then HG is another insurance name making new highs today, trying to break out from that 2071 area. There you can see the consolidation moving higher up, nearly 4% this week. So yeah, that's a good move. Now, some of the drug stocks I like because there's growth here, but they're just not doing anything. This is TG Therapeutics, this is anemic volume, which is what you want to see. You want to see a pullback. This one's clearly finding support at its 8 EMA here since the earnings report, ramped up, then pulled back to the 8, found support. I ramped up, then pulled back to the 8 right here, found support, then ramped up, pulled back to the 8 and found support, traded up higher, and now it's pulling back to the 8. Probably one more day like tomorrow. I think it's going up like 50 cents a day maybe on the 8 EMA, 40.65, 40.41. So maybe call it, 40.80 tomorrow. Excuse me, 41.80 or $42 if it pulls back to 42. Maybe it can bounce, but I'm looking for growth stocks to start leading. And I was hoping I could find them in, the cybersecurity names and some of the drug names, but it's just not happening. This is a nice growth profile. 34%, 30% sales growth, nice earnings growth, but it's just consolidating in a base and just, you just got to be patient. I'm not that patient, I got to admit. I want things to move. And so you just got to be patient with these. They look good. The charts are setting up. They look constructive charts. CPRX is another one, giving you the accelerating, sales growth here. You got, 23 percent sales growth, 25%. Last earnings report, 28. That's what you want to see, this accelerating sales growth. This thing popped yesterday and giving some back today, which is pretty typical. Just cannot power higher. There's just not enough momentum in this tape. And then a medical name, AXGN medical product, up 4% today, just acknowledging some strength here. Market cap is below 1 million. Anyway, that's it for me. Thank you for watching. I'll have a new report in the morning. Well, I don't know if I'm going to have any new stocks on my ready list. I do like some of those oil and gas names, but man, it's tough adding on with a tape like this. Anyway, at mcstockcharts.com, we never give up. However, in honor of the great Steve Jobs, I have one more thing. We have the meme stock reporting tonight, GameStop here. So maybe maybe this can get something rolling here. Maybe what's that Kitty? Roaring Kitty could post a meme and we get something going in this market because it's really a dull tape. Remember, never short a dull tape, and this certainly is a dull tape. So I just got to, be more patient here. The Nasdaq's up, 50 points. It's better than having it, trading back down and filling that gap, right? It's, doing what it needs to do. But what's driving it, is the stocks that I just showed you, like the Apple and the Microsoft, and the Tesla, which looks like it's, trying to break through this resistance here. So I'm watching this one closely. And if it goes above 285, I might put that one on our ready list for tomorrow if it can break higher. And CrowdStrike is another one that I like that's powering higher. Yeah. So anyway, that's it for me. Thank you for watching at mcstockcharts.com. We never give up. Wish me luck at the tax man.